Let's put that on my list. Oh my God. Let's listen to it. The nonsense that's going over there. So pretty much James O'Brien said, here's the floor. Please proceed. Let's listen to this. How many minutes is that? Okay. Prince Harry is trashing our country as though it is a racist hellhole, says Tory MP Bab Seeley, who is planning to bring forward legislation that could see the Sussexes stripped of their titles. Oh my God, I can't wait for the title to be over. I think I came across a tweet. It's somewhere. I don't know if I edited it yet. Is that this, it didn't go too well. It went flap. Okay? Let's listen to it.
I do think his...
Oh my God, it's long. 9 minutes and 44 minutes. But let's listen to it. Okay.
I do think his willingness to trash his family and to try to hurt them, I do think is incredibly sad. I mean, personally, I think Netflix have paid a great deal of money for, frankly, not a lot, and there's some real barrel scraping going on. But the broader point is that the royal family are part of this country's constitution. This is not a Republican versus monarchist argument. It's simply a statement of fact. They're part of this country's constitution. And I do think if Harry wishes to trade on his titles, which sadly he seems to be doing...
No. You guys, his grandmother gave it to him. So if there is a law for you guys to take it away from him, do it. But what I see so far from the docuseries is that Harry is explaining his side of story. Okay, he's telling us how he and Meghan met, the things that you guys seems to already written about them because you wanted to smear his wife from day one. Not you in particular, but the tabloid in the UK. So he's making his story known from his perspective. He did not trash your country. He's talking about the tabloid, how the tabloid work. There was a part where I think Mandana, Meghan, and Harry, and I think there was somebody else in the room, where Harry was explaining to them how the royal voter works. Okay? So it's not the country. So you think the royal voter, the newspaper, is the country? So if that's the case, then you got a problem then, because Harry never ever trashed your country. He's actually elevating and then putting the good faith of the Brit during the Invictus game. Some of you who are new, go back to some of those videos during the Invictus game. I specifically raised the question, OMG, how come there's no royal family or any elected officials who's there to support the vets at Invictus? Isn't that a good thing for the country? Invictus is a product of Harry, which represent the UK. None of you come to support until the last day. When I came across that video, I share it with my viewers. Okay? I was raising the question throughout the Invictus. Nobody came to say anything positive to support the vets. But you guys are taking, it's me against Harry. Country versus Harry. Vets against Harry. No, Harry sees the country as a whole, but his problem is the tabloid. The one who trashed his family, meaning his mother. Seems like the rest of the royal family are fine with the tabloid, but Harry is not okay with it because they took his mother out. And then they're trying to do the same thing with his new family right now. You guys, from day one, the minute you guys were aware, when I say you guys, I'm talking about the tabloid, was aware that he was dating Meghan Markle, you went on a frenzy, whatever, a chicken without a head, not even trying to know the truth, but you were paying people to say BS.
About how the media inflames this. I was called by the Sun newspaper. If you don't know what the Sun is, it's sort of
got the topless girl on page 3. That's all you need to know.
And they called me about a month ago to ask if I'd write about how Meghan was like Wallace and how Meghan was going to destroy the royal family and the arguments between Meghan and Kate. And I said, I'm really sorry, I'm just not privy to all of this. I don't think I could do it. And the commissioning editor was really twisting my arm to write this article and say, but you could say, couldn't you, that X happened, and you could say that she's fired all her staff, and you could say that Kate has said this. And I said, well, I'm really sorry, I don't know that, I can't do it. And this conversation went on for about half an hour, and I didn't write the article, but it just gives you an insight into how this whole thing is being, you know, the flames are being fanned by the media.
Not even trying to know the truth, but you were paying people to say BS.
know we can rely on you for being a great guy. So what an incredible friend you were to Meghan Markle is. Have you guys hung out at all since then?
No, we haven't spoken. She just wrote me a very nice thank you letter, and I framed it, and that was very nice of her to do. She just appreciated that I was honest, but it's so funny that we live in a time where everyone's like, it's such a big deal. I just did the right thing.
Right.
You know, it's okay I feel like that should be the norm and the status quo, but it's like, whoa, it's so crazy. He told the truth. I think we should all be a little more honest.
Well, thank you for doing the right thing.
Okay, so Harry is not trashing the royal family or the country. He's been saying from day one, he wants that line, private and public.
Chance my arm with a cheeky question. A bit like your mother, you are pursued every minute of every day by lots of people trying to take photographs, videoing, recording what you're saying, pushing. How can you possibly have a private life?
Cheeky question. You're right, that is a cheeky question. But Andrew, to be honest with you, sadly, that line between public and private life is almost non-existent anymore, and we will continue to do our best to ensure that there is the line. You know, we are completely aware that we're in a very privileged position, and I will spend the rest of my life, earning that privilege and trying to bring a spotlight onto things and causes that really matter to me, and I hopefully matter to a lot of other people as well. Everyone has a right to their privacy, and you know, a lot of the members of the public get it, but sadly in some areas there is this sort of incessant need to find out every little bit of detail about what goes on behind the scenes. It's unnecessary. You know, I hope that people get to see me here in this Invictus role, you know, cracking on with the guys and mucking in and having a good time with them. And this is half my official role, but half my private role. This is what I enjoy doing, but the private life has to be private. The private life has to be private.
He's in public. You'll be more than welcome to share some of the images or whatever. Private, get the F out of his face. But none of you wants to do that. There you are. I don't know. What are you? Is it an MP? Yeah, Tory MP Babsili. So you part of the royal rat, I assume. Okay, to not giving them the privacy. If you want to do good, make sure William kids get the protection that they deserve, because none of you seem to know the difference. At least the children. What the F is this? But let's listen.
Whilst at the same time trashing parts of our constitution, I do think Parliament has a role here, simply because the royal family are not there by divine right. They lost that battle 350 years ago when King Charles I had his head cut off by Parliament. The monarchy rules effectively with the grace and permission of the British people and a sovereign Parliament. And I just think if Harry's going to sit there saying how awful it is...
No. He's saying how awful the royal rat, okay, the British press, how they're intruding in his private life. Okay, let me rewind this again. What did you say?
By Parliament. The monarchy rules effectively with the grace and permission of the British people and a sovereign Parliament. And I just think if Harry's going to sit there saying how awful it is, and if he's going to trash our country as being...
Not your country. Nope, he never trashed your country. As a person from the outside, not only I'm a fan of Harry and Meghan, but as an individual. Okay, Harry never trashed your country. He's pretty much trashing the newspapers over there who keeps on intruding in his private life. If you're talking about trashing, you got the wrong picture. Okay, not the country, the newspaper, the one who keeps on intruding in his private life. Okay, make this clear.
This sort of racist hellhole, which actually quite the opposite. It's one of the best examples in the world of a... Harry
have also said the country is not a racist country. Okay, it's the media, he made that distinction. I hope I find the part where he said it. It's not the country who's racist. It's the media who's racist.
Of a multiracial society. It's not perfect.
Okay, can I come in on a couple of those things that you said there? Yeah. I've only watched 2 of the 3 episodes that have dropped, so maybe in episode 3 he trashed Britain as a racist hellhole, but in the previous episodes he actually describes how a senior editor in this country said, get used to it, this country when the headline started about Straight Outta Compton and all the rest of it, he said privately to Harry, get used to it. This, Britain is full of bigots. It's a racist country. And Harry said very, very firmly in the first 2 episodes, can't remember if it was 1 or 2 now, it said, I absolutely don't believe that. I absolutely disagree with him. Now, this is a man who's gone around the country since he was a kid, meeting all kinds of people on, tours with his mother and father. And he's clearly got affection for the British people.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have tried watching bits of it, but I've been reaching for the sick bucket so much.
What? Because there's love in there, because you guys are savages.
1841, Lord Brougham told Parliament that he
greatly regretted that British capital and British subjects furnish the slaves for the mining companies of Cuba and Brazil. British companies consign goods which are only intended for the purchase of slaves. Vessels are being built in this country which from their structure and internal arrangements could leave no doubt that they were intended for the slave trade.
Savage AF. Savage. Savage AF.
You don't like love, calm, peaceful things. You wanted him to keep on fighting. That will get your attention. Okay?
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be so rude. I have tried watching it, and I just find it sort of...
Oh my God.
But he certainly didn't say it's a racist hellhole, this country.
Well,
Thank you.
Quite the opposite.
Thank you.
Okay, what I've seen coming out...
So he probably didn't even bother watching it, but he's putting his perception in there.
Is that he's effectively, there's a racist template that's going to
no,
in this
he didn't
country.
say
And,
that.
we hounded Meghan out because she was this beautiful non-white princess. I'm sorry, all this sort of nonsense which I don't buy.
Harry didn't say all of that. You literally, the UK tabloid trashes his wife. Look at as recently as during the Queen's funeral, non-stop.
Again, soap opera and drama aside, there is a constitutional argument here.
How is he trashing our constitution?
Well,
Thank you. I want to know it too.
Well, I'm just going to come together. The soap opera aside, there is a simple...
You guys are creating soap opera, and you keep on making him to defend himself because he doesn't want you guys, again, when I say guys, you guys, I mean the tabloid. He does not want the tabloid to write his story. Okay? If the story was true, maybe he will leave it alone. But you guys are putting lies, painting a completely different picture about him. So therefore, he wants people to know who he really is. There you are. You have a chance to tell the truth. You're saying some BS. Even that, I didn't even know the other caller was there. I mean, not caller, the host was there. Okay? Asking you, how is he trashing the royal family or the country, whatever. There's your chance to say it. You're not saying it.
Fact here that he is a member of the royal family, and he is arguably bringing the royal family into disrepute by repeatedly airing his dirty linen in public. And I'm sorry that you aren't seeing all the reports about the fact that he's using race here as an argument against this country. Seems to a lot of other
I've watched more of it than you have, Bob. I've watched more of it than you have. I've watched more of it than you have. I'm reading lots of the reports, and I'm hearing callers on this program as well talking about the racist element. I'm just looking for people's views. I'm certainly no authority on Harry and Meghan and whether they're right or wrong.
My view is that, and I'm almost posing this as a question, not sort of, it is terrible, he's got to go, he should be banished from Britain. I'm posing this as a question, yeah? The royal family have an institutional role in this country. And if
he left, okay? He left. Piers Morgan told his wife to go back to America.
If you want to be private, go back to America and live privately. It's pretty straightforward.
Harry wanted peace and quiet.
The decision that I have made for my wife and I to step back is not one I made lightly. It was so many months of talks after so many years of challenges. Our hope was to continue serving the Queen, the Commonwealth and my military associations, but without public funding. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible. I've accepted this, knowing that it doesn't change who I am or how committed I am. But I hope that helps you understand what it had come to, that I would step my family back from all I have ever known, to take a step forward into what I hope can be a more peaceful life. To take a step forward into what I hope can be a more peaceful life.
He's been telling the UK, leave him alone. Leave his private life alone. But you guys told his wife to go back to America. So what did he do? He left with his wife. So make that clear. Let's not forget about that.
If a member of the royal family wishes to spend his time using his titles and his status to try to undermine bits of the constitution of this country, should we be getting involved, or do we just say, meh, it's all a bit of a family drama?
Well, he's not, but he isn't.
There is, sorry, let me just finish the point. For me, there is a constitutional role here, and if he's going to trash his family, if he's going to trash the institutions of this country, he's welcome to do so. But
so is this guy, what's his name? MP Bob Seeley, is he trying to say the tabloid is the institution of the UK? Because this is where Harry is having his problem. The British press. The British press is Harry's problem. This is where he's trying to get these people off his back. The British press. Even as he left the UK, he put out a list. He will not be dealing with them. The British press. The press. The press. The press. The press. The press. The press. Not the institution, not the royal family, none of that. But okay.
Don't do it whilst calling yourself a royal prince at the same time, or having a dukedom as a title.
Okay, you're MP, do what you're supposed to do. Remove the title that his grandmother gave him. Do what you're supposed to do to get the title off. Take it away from him because his grandmother gave it to him. Because he's not using it. People like me are calling him HRH whenever we feel like it. But we don't have to. Harry never called himself HRH. But okay, you want to drive yourself crazy with imaginary thing, go ahead. But it's your job. Because if I'm, as an outsider, you are an MP, it's your job to do things that driving you nuts. Right? This is a man-made thing that's going in your head. I'm telling you, the UK has some issue because Harry is not using their title. Even the Netflix thing is called Harry and Meghan. Did you see HRH, Duke and Duchess of Sussex? No, Harry and Meghan. So what issue are you having? So do what you need to do to get the title away. All right? To ease your pain if you think this is what is going on. But Harry's problem is the British press. The intrusion in his private life. Okay? If you don't get that, I'm sorry. You don't deserve to be an MP because you can't. This is as basic as it could get.
Do it as Mr. Windsor. Do it as somebody who's got some principle.
Let me try and potentially, just for the discussion that we're having, let me try and reframe the trashing line that you keep using, that he's trashing the Constitution, trashing the royal family, trashing the institution. Yeah. Again, I base this on the 2 episodes I've seen only. He and she are saying, look, in order to be what we had hoped to be, which was working members of the royal family.
For me, it's an added member of the family. It's another team player as part of the bigger team. And you know, for all of us, all we want to do is be able to carry out the right engagements, carry out our work, and try and encourage others and the younger generation to be able to see the world in the correct sense, rather than perhaps having a distorted view. So no, look, both of us have passions for wanting to make change for good, and you know, with lots of young people running around the Commonwealth, that's where we're going to spend most of our time.
And by the way, we're not the first people to go through this distress. The racist element, yes, but not the other stuff. In order to be that and do that and be of service to the monarchy and be of service to the country, which is what they say their ambition was. Is it possible we can do that without being abused? Now, they are not the first royals to say that. Princess Anne has spoken about how she told people to, quote, F off, you'll remember, in the 80s, because she'd had enough of...
Naff off, not F off. It was naff off.
It was naff off, apologies, you're quite right. Who was, you know, because she'd had enough of it. But hang on. Prince Charles gave an interview.
This is why I like Princess Anne. She let it be known. Okay, but many UK could be upset with Princess Anne. She's getting... No, you guys are more than happy to... This is why I don't adore her, but this is why I like her. All right? You guys are more than happy to give them your money. She's enjoying it. She's not making excuses. Okay? I didn't even know about Princess Anne back in the 80s. But okay, let's listen.
To Jonathan Dimbleby, in which he talked about how unbearable elements of his life were. Prince William and Kate have challenged people in the courts over intrusions into her life. They're not the first, and I could name all of them. I could name a previous generation who've experienced the same. They've all experienced the pain. They've all experienced.
Oh my God! Look at his head as he's shaking. This is his man. Whatever it is that's going in his head, which I do not know, it's something deeper than that. Okay? It's something deeper than that, because Harry never trashed the country. Harry never trashed the UK. He keep on saying it's the tabloid.
And new dad, Prince Harry. We've been seeing him out and about since Archie was born. He and Meghan are in the news for a very different reason this week. Aaron, some legal drama here. Break this down for us.
Yeah, so Harry received substantial damages from the news agency Splash after photos that were taken from a low-flying helicopter showed intimate details of their home in Oxfordshire, which is their previous country home before they moved to Windsor. So they took them to court and they won.
Never trashed the UK. He keep on saying it's the tabloid.
And so these photos showed inside the living room, dining room, even into the bedroom. So yeah, definitely upsetting.
Harry never trashed the UK. He keep on saying it's the tabloid.
It's really interesting to hear that kind of ruling come down. That's a strong statement, right? And a good warning for other organizations that would maybe try to do something like that. We see photos of the royals a lot in different situations in public, but there are some things that are off limits. Imogen, you and I have talked about this in the past, about where the lines are kind of drawn here.
Harry never trashed the UK. He keep on saying it's the tabloid.
So Diana's death is still very much blamed on the paparazzi by many senior royals, including William and Harry's.
That's that. Prince William thinks that's quite enough.
Hey, look at these. Big funny faces over there. Why should I
And Nanny Barnes brings in Prince Harry,
which played on her fears and fueled paranoia.
So that's needs to be kept in mind here. So they will not now tolerate long lenses on private situations. That's a total no-go. There were some topless photos of Kate taken in that situation in 2012.
I remember that, yeah.
And they took the Cambridge's Paris closer to court and won. And they're also, I think William is very, very protective of the little Cambridges, and we will see that with little baby Sussex as well.
It's really interesting because, they do give the press great photo op moments, and that's sort of their offering, right? Hey, we're here for you, we're here for the public.
Birthdays and christenings.
This is half my official role, but half my private role. This is what I enjoy doing, but the private life has to be private.
And everything else, we do see them, they do provide those photos, but then they're like, no.
That's kind of the exchange. We give you this, now we get some privacy in these situations.
The British press, the tabloid, the British press.
Yes, he would get absolutely slaughtered in a nightclub, rock out into the street at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Paparazzi would be there, cameras in his face.
The British press, the tabloid, the British press.
But what would happen is the newspapers would have those shots from that one episode, and they would use them.
The British press, the tabloid, the British press.
That week's papers. But then they'd hang on to them and they'd chuck them into the paper a couple of weeks later, 3 weeks after that.
So his behaviour is being exaggerated by the way the press.
Precisely. They'd already written the narrative about Harry. He was the wild child, he was off the rails, the complete antithesis of his goody two-shoes brother.
Where is this guy going with that? Something deeper than that is going in his head. Look, he can even stand to listen to the lady putting facts out there to him. Look at his head.
The drama. They are saying, can we do this differently, please? That's not trashing the Constitution.
Thank you.
We're trying to improve it.
Thank you.
We're going to have to have a different. I mean, it's a great question, and you're playing devil's advocate very well. I'm just going to have a difference of opinion over what I see, what I read endlessly about.
Where are you getting this? What you read? Where did you get it from? Where did you get your information from? There's Harry and Meghan telling you exactly what they experienced, but you're reading from different places. I don't freaking understand these Brits. Not all. Some. Look at this lady who's putting facts out there, but he can stand to listen to it, but he's saying from things that he read.
What I read.
Where the F did you read these things? There's Harry on Netflix telling you what his experience is. This is how close you will get it from the horse's mouth. So what the F are you talking about?
Who are effectively monetizing their misery, claiming they were forced out.
Yes, they did.
Piers,
If you want to be private, go back to America and live privately. It's pretty straightforward.
They were forced out. They were forced out. Harry and Meghan tried to work half in and half out, and then there's Piers Morgan who tell them go back to America. What is forced out? Okay, with all those nonsense that keeps on happening, and you have police telling you things that they heard about them, things that was going online about them. Hey, what did you expect?
Piers Morgan's allegedly extensive knowledge and encouragement of criminal news gathering at the Mirror while he was editor will face a full courtroom examination, a judge has ruled. Lawyers acting for Mirror Group newspapers last week tried and failed to keep the outspoken journalist and broadcaster out of a case alleging the publisher's board turned a blind eye to years of criminal activity at its 3 British national tabloids.
So where are you getting these things from? What is bothering you in your mind? These people are crazy. They are literally crazy.
I seem to remember reading huge amounts of incredibly positive, welcoming, loving concern for Meghan, and actually just the happiness that Harry had found some happiness in his life, because...
And then that changed. Yes, I remember that. I give you credit on that. At the beginning, yes. And then that changed. So they tried to adjust and readjust, but they never let them be. So they had to go.
Things were bad with his mum, and we know that, and we know how appallingly she was treated and how she was hounded by the media and how she was actually...
But so were the boys. They were there a lot when it happened. They heard their mother being called a whore, and they heard they saw their mother crying, and they saw their mother running away from the truckers. He's saying, I'm a traumatized adult because of what this country's relationship with the monarchy is allowing. Can we do it differently?
No, sorry, I don't think he is saying that. He's basically...
Oh my God, the guy is saying with his whole chest, but you're saying you don't think so? What the hell is wrong with these people?
declaring war on his family.
What it means is that a senior figure in the royal household, according to Mail on Sunday, was passing him information in order to help defeat the Duchess's case.
Much of the negativity towards the couple is coming from within the royal family. The royal family and staff of the royal family are the ones that are very often leaking these stories to the press.
Declaring war on his family.
They'd already written the narrative about Harry. He was the wild child, he was off the rails, the complete antithesis of his goody two-shoes brother.
Being afraid that if they lose the support of the public, they could go away themselves.
That's right. And I don't think people here fully appreciate the degree and the extremes to which Meghan was covered in England. I mean, it was vicious.
Yeah, the negativity. Vicious is the word.
Yeah. What a missed opportunity. I mean, the Commonwealth is 60 to 70% people of color. Britain is a multicultural country. What a missed opportunity.
Declaring war on his family. Every time. No. The timing of this. What was the timing of this? The timing of this when his brother, Prince William, is great, good man, a really good man, was visiting.
A good man who backstabbed him, trying to give information to the press to defeat his wife, Harry's wife, in court. A good man.
What it means is that a senior figure in the royal household, according to Mail on Sunday, was passing him information in order to help defeat the Duchess's case.
Defeat his wife, Harry's wife, in court. A good man.
What's been, as we know, is that the Mail on Sunday had the ruling against them in February, and they were then appealing it. So it was lawyers from the Mail on Sunday who would have approached Jason Naff, knowing that these emails and messages existed. That would have been the point. And unless, I mean, the most likely outcome is that Jason obviously would have then gone to William and Kate, and clearly he has cooperated. He would not have cooperated with those lawyers without their definite knowledge.
Okay, so we know where you're at now. Okay.
In the United States, they're effectively sort of jumping on other people's publicity in order to sell their wares to Netflix to justify their existence, playing...
The world's supposed to stop for William, and Netflix is a own company. Then the royal family tried to put a nozzle into Netflix during the crown. Did that stop? The world do not stop for anyone. It's just too bad. The same thing you guys been doing to other people. Hey, Netflix learn from the best. Netflix learn from the best. It's just now the table is turning. You don't like it. You do not like when the table is turned. So I always say, in order for you to understand people's pain, you guys have to feel it. Maybe this is what's going on right now. You guys are feeling the pain when the table is turning. The same tactic, the same BS you guys play on Princess Diana. There you are. You just admitted that Princess Diana did go through some stuff. Okay, with the British press. There's Harry telling you he's going through some stuff with the British press. You don't want to accept it, but you want, after he's dead, for you to say, oh, you admit that, oh, Harry was going through some stuff with the press. Harry's telling you he's going through it right now. He doesn't want to go through it. But you don't want to accept the fact that he is actually telling you, and he's putting a stop to it. Oh my God. Okay. The world's supposed to stop for the British royal family. This is the nonsense they put in their head. The hierarchy, the classism. They want the world to stop for them, where they're doing absolutely nothing. Everybody's supposed to bow down to him, and they themselves do absolutely nothing. Welcome to reality. The world does not stop for you. Okay? As I'm saying this, I'm thinking of the picture where William and Kate is being carried on that chair. Okay, you see those people are suffering, carrying their dumb ass on that freaking chair. There you go. Reality starting to kick in. The world do not stop for nobody. Nobody. Okay? And there's Netflix here. Hey, publicity. You guys are talking about Harry and Meghan all the time. Guess when did they decided to drop it?
Do you see any scenario by which Harry and Meghan overshadow Kate and
Oh,
William?
yes, I do. I do. I mean, this is immediately was my first thought. You know, this could be a problem.
Right there. So deal with it. This is the problem that's bothering you. Okay? The nonsense that making you go crazy. Look at your eyes. Your eyes is closing, traumatized with nonsense you're creating for yourself. But okay, let's listen to your BS.
The victim permanently. I'm sorry, I think it's wrong. That bit makes me sad for them, because I just think, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna move it back. I talk too much, we lose the context of some of the things. All right, move it back, like right here.
A really good man was visiting the United States. They're effectively sort of jumping on other people's publicity in order to sell their wares to Netflix to justify their existence, playing the victim permanently. I'm sorry, I think it's wrong. That bit makes me sad for them.
That's not Harry's problem. Okay, they did the documentary, they give it to Netflix. What is it? It's been, what, 2 years where Netflix had given them the contract? Okay, so they need to produce something. So they produce something, they did their editing or whatever, drop it off to Netflix and say, here, this is what I'm giving you for my whatever the contract said. Okay, now Netflix said, oh, thank you. Now let me drop it off. Okay, and then if you, I think video 1 or 2 or something like that, where I talk about where it was being aired, the Earth shot was being aired, 302 people in the US watch it. Okay, nobody care about them. Okay, and the other thing is, what I've read in one of those videos, to screenshot of people posting, is that they trick people, okay, to get the crowd, telling Willis Elliott is coming to do whatever, to perform. Okay, they get the crowd, but thank God, some smart ass, thank God for it, did the aerial view of the shot, and then it wasn't that many people. But they got the close-up that they needed to get the frenzy going, to show people there were people who showed up. But the numbers don't lie. 302 people watch it on PBS. All right. So I'm sorry if you think that Harry's jumping on his publicity, but you guys been doing it for so long. Netflix decided to use that same tactic. But it's not Harry's fault for that. So what if you so care about the Earth shot? Why, ask William this, how come the Warners did not show up at the Earth shot, but everybody else, those celebrities, the soccer player, whatever his name is, they flown in to show up? So how come the Warners did not show up? Don't you think this should have been held in the UK instead? Okay, the taxpayer money who flew these people over there, I think this would have been used right now, right about now, for those people who can pay their bill, food on the table, and all of that. This money should not have gone to the Earth shot for all this nonsense. It could have been easily held in the UK. Okay? The same way they got the winners on whatever, oh God, what's the term? Okay, on live feed or whatever, on Zoom. That's the word, Zoom. Okay? Maybe they could easily do that in the UK as well. Okay? So the problem is your own creation, and you create your own misery. Don't blame Harry on that.
Because I just think, yeah, they're not victims. I've met victims. You know, I served in Iraq when, you know, Yazidi women were being en masse raped, when people were being killed. I've worked in, you know, theatres of conflict. Where
Please don't mention rape on this thing. Please don't mention. You have your Andrew. You have all this going on in the royal family. Please don't bring this in this discussion. Okay? You've seen. Please don't bring this nonsense here. Oh my God. But have you been a victim? Have you yourself been a victim? Just because you've seen it, but you do not know how these people went through. Harry and Meghan are victims of the press, and they wanted to stop. Just because you have seen, look, I guess you haven't learned yet. You just admitted, you know, Princess Diana went through some stuff with the press. Okay? She's no longer with us because of the major mass intrusion of the press. She's no longer with us. Have you learned from that? Just because you've seen, I don't think you still understand.
The longer you spend on this planet, the more experience and the more knowledge that you have.
I don't think you understand. You just admitted in this clip that you know Princess Diana went through some stuff. I'm paraphrasing, but I don't remember exactly how you said it. But I don't think you still understand. Just because you've seen, okay? That could give you a perspective of things. But I don't think you truly understand the feeling of a victim. Okay? I don't wish that on anybody, but don't ignore Harry and Meghan's feelings. They're hurting from the press.
Where you meet genuine victims of absolute horrors of war. And with great respect to Meghan and Harry,
okay, another thing is that Harry saw someone, what was it, when he was in Afghanistan? He saw a true victim. Okay, this is how this profound his life is. This is someone who understands. Wasn't his story with Invictus when he was, well, the tabloid locate his location in Afghanistan. They had to remove him and flew back. All this is the universe is balancing things. But unfortunately, he had to witness that particular soldier who was without limbs. Okay, so that ingrained in him to do something about it. Thus, the Invictus. So this is someone who learned, who've seen and learned and understand. He felt like, okay, he's different time, different places, I'm putting things together.
How did you find a way to run from the city of the sun? You could have stayed, it's only over when the day is done. I never knew you was a runner, yeah. I mistook you for a son. It don't matter what we think when it's all over. 'Cause this is our last chance.
Because it was in the US when he saw that particular, what is it? Wounded Soldiers or something like that. I don't remember the name of that program in the US, where soldiers were competing. That gave him the idea. Okay, putting one and one together. He witnessed a soldier without a limb, and then he witnessed what happened after someone have, I guess, not cure, I will not say cure, have passed the process of rebuilding themselves after the war. Thus, when he came in the US, he saw them competing. And this is why 1 and 1 plus 2, okay, give you Invictus. So he learned. He was like, okay, I've seen someone without a limb, and I've seen someone, a soldier without a limb, what they could do. So let me boost up the vets' morale, their spirit, so they don't just sit there in a corner feeling sorry for themselves. So he did something about it. Now that you know, Princess Diana did went through some stuff. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Harry saw his mom. He's putting 1 and 1 together. Harry's a smart man.
It was always presumed, this is my take on it, which may be very wrong, but I think the presumption was always the longer you spend on this planet, the more experience and the more knowledge that you have. Fine, I think we all agree that the longer you're around for, the more experience you have.
He saw his mom molded by the press. He saw, you even said it, he saw his mom cry. He saw all of this stuff. And now they're coming after him. So he put 1, 2, 3 together and said, enough. This is not gonna give me what my mom had endured. So he left. What are you gonna do about it? Now that you've seen victims, you've seen what Princess Diana went through, you have seen, but you have not experienced it yourself. You do not know. Now, what you have seen, have you learned from it? What is your change for that? Because Harry learned. Have you learned anything? And this is why Harry had said in the Obama Foundation, he thought people who live in this earth for that long, you would think they will have the solution of things. But no, they haven't learned a damn thing. Instead, they're repeating the same bullshit. Okay, let's listen.
They are not victims on anything like that scale, and to be monetizing their misery,
none of us are.
Do it. Yeah. I'm sorry, and to do it by trashing the royal family.
No, he did
by
not
trashing
trash
this country. As
no, you keep on repeating that. He did not trash the royal family. He did not trash the country. He's actually elevating the morale, the spirit of the UK. But you saying this or trashing the royal family because you're putting yourself out there saying this BS. We see the documentary.
They do, and you know, as being part of the constitution of this country, which is why anyone gives them the time of day because he is a royal prince. I do think this is political.
Okay, but can I ask you, because I've always followed the royal stories and interested in them, and you know, partly soap opera, partly the interesting human relationship between you know, the vast majority of Brits and the royals. It's a fascinating dynamic to watch, I think, and. But it's pretty clear that it's a damaging dynamic in some respects, both to the people who watch it and the people who live in it.
I don't think it is anymore.
Put Harry to one side. Can we do this better?
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure we can. But actually, I think we're in a much better place now. Actually, I think the excesses of Diana, which is just awful and traumatic.
Did I just hear him correctly? We are in a much better place right now. Wait a second. I need to rewind this. Okay, UK people need to listen to this. We are in a much better place. Oh, fuck.
So that I may talk, squirrel.
Look at the fact that just on energy alone, on a conservative estimate within 1 year, we're talking £1,300 a year going up in bills.
To listen to this. We are in a much better place. Oh, fuck.
Both to the people who watch it and the people who live in it.
I don't think it is anymore.
Put Harry to one side. Can we do this better?
Yeah, for sure we can. But actually, I think we're in a much better place now. Actually,
there it is. We are much in a better place. Or you Brits can pay for your heating, or you Brits can have food on the table, and now the press who's hounding Harry, still, he left. They told him to leave, but they still added, this is much better place because it's not you. That's the whole point, because it's not you. It's not you who's going through it. Okay? You are in position where you're getting, your income through being an MP and probably some other places as well. You have food on the table. You're traveling freely. You could do all this stuff. It's not you who's going through it. So this is why you think you're much better place. Oh, damn. One more time.
Both to the people who watch it and the people who live in it.
I don't think it is anymore.
Put Harry to one side. Can we do this better?
Yeah, for sure we can. But actually, I think we're in a much better place now. Actually, I think the excesses of Diana, which is just awful and traumatic, they're long in the past. And you know, William and Kate.
Yeah, long in the past because Diana's gone. Okay, Harry on the end, who is not the heir to the throne, he wants his privacy when he's not doing royal duty. Okay, leave his children alone. Is that much to ask? I don't know what deal the heirs have with the tabloid. That's their business. If they want to put their children out there, that's their business. But just because they're playing alone, that doesn't mean we are in a better place. What are they blackmailing them? Okay.
Basically get on with the day job. Down on the Isle of Wight, we see quite a bit of Princess Anne and Prince Edward, and they do a great job.
Hang on. Waity Katie, doors to manual, lots of class-based, you know.
I mean, that's a bit of Mickey taking. It happens. It's called a free press. Let's move, you know.
but you think it's okay because it's not you. I guess you still haven't learned anything. You just said Princess Diana went through some stuff, but you think because they're naming people like that, bullying people on the press, it's free press. You haven't learned anything.
That's you're always going to have some people who will write a funny headline.
But the people they are smearing on those newspapers, how do you think they feel? This is the thing you need to wrap your head around. Even though if it's Kate, I'm not a fan of Kate. I don't hate her. I don't like her. I don't do anything. She's just there. Okay? But how do you think she feels for them saying that? Huh? Did you think about that? I don't know how she feels, but did you think about that? That now that you know Princess Diana went through some stuff, did you think about heavy, but them saying that about Kate? How do you think she feel? Feeling is a very emotional thing that will make people do different things. You haven't learned anything. Just because you don't want BBC, or is it BBC or ITV, the Panorama interview, you want to erase it. But Princess Diana told her truth. She told you her pain. Don't you think, Kate might be feeling some pain too? Oh, Jesus Christ. You didn't learn anything. You've seen people go through some stuff. You've seen people hurt. You see people rape. You see this, you see that. I don't think you know how they felt. You haven't learned anything.
Look, I'm sorry. I think actually we're in quite a good place with the royal family and the relationship with the British state at the moment and British people. And I think there's dare I say, a healthy balance. I think Harry is an exception to that.
Because he doesn't want to play the game. He does not want to play the game. What he wanted originally, he wanted to do the royal work, but when he's in private, he's hanging out with his friend, he's doing get the F away from him. Okay? He said that way before Meghan came into the picture. But you guys will not let in. But he's not heir to the throne, so he doesn't have to play that game. He was there to help support his brother and the firm, but they kick him out. They all sided with the British press. And there you are, sided with the British press as well. But Harry is going through it. He's the one who's experiencing, he's feeling the pain. He doesn't want to play that game. He doesn't want to do that. So, I do not wish, thank God, I'm not them for me to experience that, but I truly understand their pain. But if you want to be an MP and understand, you claim you understand, but you're not doing anything different, I'm sorry, but you will have to experience it in order for you to feel it. Okay? You will have to experience it in order for you to feel it and understand their pain.
And I do think if you're going to sit there and justify your existence by saying you're a victim of this terrible institution, then do yourself a favor, have some basic self-respect.
Oh, he has plenty. Harry has plenty. But the respect that you're looking for is not what he's all about. Okay? His character, his moral compass is intact. But I don't think you guys are in the same level as Harry. You guys should have learned so much because you're older than him. You should have known so much, but you know crap. Oh my God. You've seen people get raped, but what are you doing about that? You have the royal family who've done some really bad things. Pedophiles and all of that. What have you doing about that? Oh my God.
And ditch the titles. If he ditches...
Okay, you're MP. Do what you need to do to get the title. His grandmother gave it to him as a gift.
The titles. If he becomes Mr. Windsor and says, I hate the royal family, I hate the institutional
No,
monarchy...
he's not saying that. You're putting word in his mouth. He didn't say he hate. I never hear Harry say the hate. Maybe he hate the British press, maybe. But he never said anything about hating the family, the royal family. He never said that. Unless if I missed something somewhere.
Look, at least he's consistent. Whether you agree or
that's
disagree,
your consistency of your own perception. But Harry never said that. I have not come across it. If anybody did, please put the link of that where Harry said he hate whatever he just said here.
To him for actually sticking to his principles and having a set of...
I don't think he's saying he hates it.
Thank you.
I don't think he's saying he hates it.
Thank you.
You're using language that he certainly doesn't use about
thank you.
Family.
You and I have a different take.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a final question? Should Prince Andrew lose his title?
Thank you.
No, that's a really good question, and I don't know because he hasn't actually been convicted of anything. But
he said, but he paid himself out of it. He paid himself out of it, so you will not know.
Only been convicted of enough in the minds of the monarchy to drop him from public life entirely?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, Member of Parliament for York, Kate McCaskill, I can't remember just her first name. Labour MP is actually trying to bring in a bill to have a general titles.
You know what's really funny with that? When they mention Prince Andrew, he can't even come up with the words but he has everything ready for Harry. Oh my God, my God, my God, my God. Baggage for God. But let's finish listening to his crap.
Stripping bill just for that purpose. So she's very adamant that he should.
Okay. Whew. My goodness. Let me read some of the comments. Still, this was not the video that I was looking for, but it was a good listening. Okay, I don't know if you realize how ridiculous your country looks like. Prince Harry is a man who have served his country twice during a decade on war fields, not in Westminster. This man and his wife are being harassed daily as if they are the most wanted couple in the UK. Right? You should all be sued for human rights breach. And if I was them, I'll do it. This is beyond harassment and smearing, you included. Oh my God, who is that? Who's that? Sheila forgot. Okay, I don't know who's that. Is that the guy? But the guy name is
I do
something
think
else. Is Bab Sealy. But who's that? Sarah forgot. Okay, I do not know who's that. They tagged this person in there. I don't know who's that. Okay, raping minors. That's the thing that I was saying. Okay, raping minors is a fine word tradition. Telling your love story is an affront to the gods. There's this here. There's Andrew with, okay, look at the face that she put here. Okay, there's Harry and Meghan telling their love story. I don't know. The UK is backward. These people, they're not really representing not Harry and Meghan. Him in particular. He's not making the UK look good. He thinks he's making Harry look bad. But him saying all this nonsense, oh my God. And this pretty much sums it up for me. All right, let's hear. Okay, said that president. I would love to see people who took money from despots like Osama bin Laden, alleged child sex offender, those with criminal record that's already Anne, Charles, and Andrew, then add those who sold access to Russia, Michael Kent, etc. The squad, I don't know, is that a squaddy? Who's that? Okay, that's okay, 130 others you follow, so that must be a squad. Who know what's going on? Put the list of all the people that they should strip title of. You and me both, there's that. Here's a halloween dog. So your allegation just and yeah heard. You laid this claim on Harry as though, how do you use that term to justify anything, Bob? You're just looking for clout off of Harry and Meghan, as most of y'all do, because you can deny their experience. Shame on you. Thank you. This is what I was saying. Okay? You claim you saw people who went through some stuff, but have you experienced this stuff? I don't think so. All right, let's see this one. Okay. There are countless examples of time members of the royal family, including King Charles, have been openly racist, saying Yasmin Alibert Brown. Okay, 1 minute and 13 seconds, and then that's it. Oh my God, I didn't even put the
Charles
one that
says to a woman.
I didn't even put the clip that I really wanted to put. It's a woman that James O'Brien was listening to, but let's listen to that.
Charles says to a woman I know, a journalist I know. He says, "Where are you from?" She says, "Manchester." "You don't look as if you're from Manchester." The Prince Philip, I met him at the Royal Shakespeare Company because I was a governor. I'm standing with my husband. He passes us by, he comes back and he looks at my husband and he says, "Is she yours?"
Oh, shit.
They are full of it. And Meghan had to survive it.
Wow.
When a film, yet another film came out about Diana's love affair with a Pakistani surgeon, I then talked to people who were connected, and some of them in Dodi's family, and some of the people in her Pakistani lover's family. And they told me some of the stuff that the royal family was doing because they were appalled that she had 2 brown lovers. And you know, there is...
This is news to me. These are witnesses. So we can deny this. They can deny this. Wow.
It's a secret service in this country. There are all, and this is what Harry is going to be talking about, the leaking of information. But the response to Diana having those 2 lovers, People need to remember that history and that story.
Wow. Wow. Okay. This tweet is brought to you by Todo fucking idiot. Who's that? General election now. Okay, good idea, Bob. Let's create a precedent and we'll move to the rest of the royals still leeching up the plebs. Okay, and while doing so, abolish to the House of Lords. Okay, Harry and Meghan bring the UK into disrepute. The royals and the press do that all on their own. Yep. If the UK takes Harry's birthright away from him and let Andrew keep his out of spite, that really will bring the UK into disrupt. Okay, this MP is off his whackers. He probably ate uncooked beans. I wonder what he is hiding. Maybe we shouldn't investigate Bob Wilsley. Okay, he wants legislation to strip them of their titles. That sounds like setting a precedent for stripping any royals of their titles. I see you have a monarchy. Be ashamed if someone strip it. Okay, this is my thought. It's a Pandora box. If any royal makes a mistake or does something we don't like, can they be stripped of their titles, or does this law only apply to Harry and Meghan? Okay, I'd be outraged if this was my local MP. Okay, that's me from outside. Listening to him, I'm like, OMG. Christ, isn't there more pressing things to be concerned about, Bob? Haven't you got a job to do? Thank you. Some of your constituents are freeze. Thank you. I did bring this thing up. Okay? Some of your constituents are freezing and hungry. Go help them. Hey, then he said they are in a much better place now. Okay? The country is in a much better place now. You tell me. Okay, people are dying from the cold and not being able to call ambulances, can't afford heating and a cost of living situation, but you do what's important, clown, for the love of Jupiter. Okay, let me see if the next one.